is a sort of demonstration, sort of play feature, play painting, and I just thought it was rather nice, and I thought it might be fun for a little video just to show you how I have done it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it on a much smaller piece of paper, because I think it would be nice to be stuck onto a blank card to use as a greeting card. So I'm going to show you how I did it. I'm using a very small chisel brush, or a flat brush. This is a number 10. It has a nice flat point because I'm going to be using that for making the trunk. And then I'm going to use a number 7, or I might go up to an 8 if I need to. But I'm going to have to scale down to get this onto here. Now I'm just going to move this across a little bit so I can get you a bit of both in the camera, as it were. So I've mixed myself a dirty grey, a bit of Payne's grey, a bit of raw umber. I've got some goldy colours there, and I've got some yellows and a Venetian red in my paint box. So I'm going to start off, and I'm going to start by building the trunk just as far as it comes up and starts to fork into branches. So I'm taking my little chisel brush. Now I like odd numbers, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a fairly thick big tree here and then a couple of little spindly ones there. So I'm going to start off with holding the brush quite upright, and I'm just going to go up the tree like that. Now I'm always telling students to use their brushes going with the bristle, not pushing, but here I do actually advocate a bit of pushing. And it doesn't have to be even, and you can dip back in to not the thin wash colour, but go back into the raw umber or the Payne's grey, and see how the brush has split a little bit and curved. Well, that's fine because we don't want it all nice and even. And this is drying out quite quickly actually. And now I'm going to go just with the tip of the brush down the side to create that curve appearance. And there I'm coming down. Okay, there's one. Now I'm going to space this one over here. So this is like a silver birch sort of tree, something that has peeling bark. And this is a much more slender trunk. And I quite like that break up in the bristle there, because it's given me, the way the brush is split, look, it's given me both sides at the same time, because there's a little gap in between. This is very good for learning about your brushes. Any things like this that make you think about how you can let the brush do the work. Okay, so we've got 3 trunks there. Now I'm going to go to the leaves, and I'm going to start off with my palest colour, and I'm just going to put a big splosh. Now I'm also thinking about this as a card, so I want to keep it sort of fairly tidily within this sort of area. Now I'm leaving lots of gaps because I want to put the branches in afterwards. Now here I'm letting the brush make the marks of the leaves. I've put a big blob of colour in, but now I'm going to let the brush do some of the work for me. And this again is making the most of the shape of your brushes and using the right brush for the job. Right, let's go a bit more goldy and just drop it in while that's still wet. It's rather pleasing. It's also good exercise in colour mixing and such like. I'm going to sneeze, excuse me. Sorry about that. Too tricky to edit out. Okay, let's go a little bit darker. I've got some Venetian red, let's drop some bits in. Oh, look how that's moved, isn't that lovely? And again, letting the brush make some marks. Drop it in, because leaves, when they start to turn, sometimes they do it in a lovely shaded way. Okay, now let's go back to this, and I'm going to start doing some little branch bits, and I'm not going to worry if some of my colour bleeds. So I'm just implying that some of the branches go up there. It is better if you can wait for this stage to dry. In fact, I will do that. I'm going to hold the video and wait for that to dry. Right, I have used some absorbent paper to take a bit of the colour off because I'm rather impatient today. So let's get on with doing some more of the trunk bit. I've loaded my brush again, and I'm just using the left side and just making little marks to imply that the branches are going up there. Now let's fill in the gap here a bit, and I've mixed a slightly stronger colour. I think that was a bit too weak, so I'm going to go back down and just accentuate a little bit and put also the odd twig coming out. Again, let the brush do the work for you. That's a nice little twig there. Let's have a do this one a bit more. So you're not painting, you're more doing this sort of thing. Now I've mixed that darker colour, I need to just unify it, as it were. Let's put a twig there to link up with those few leaves there, and one down there. So you can mess about with this, you can get it in roughly with the pale colour, and then you can just go back and fiddle about. And let's just put, it doesn't matter that the tree disappears off the top of the page. It's just an impression. And you can put some little twigs in front. And we can cover up more gaps with more leaves. What I'm going to do now though, however, is I'm going to put a little bit of this background in. So this is where we start working in the negative. And I've mixed the same, a sort of a greeny bluey colour. Is that dry enough? So I'm just going to come down here. Just need to move that out of the way while I quickly bring my colour down and back up, so I'm covering the area fairly quickly. and I'm going in to fill in that little gap there. Then back again here. Oops, got a bit too much there. Let's pull it out quickly. Let the brush suck it up.